3 minutes when you turn it down. Good evening. How are we doing tonight?
Hello, everyone.
Looks like we got a couple of people, but we're gonna. The way we do this here is we do the announcements first. Actually, the verse, the prayer, then the announcements, and then we do the comments, and then we have the lesson for the night.
Our verse for the night is Proverbs 13:14. The teaching of the wise is a fountain of life, to turn aside from the snares of death. Proverbs 13:14, and we will pray to open the broadcast. Father, we thank you for your wisdom. We thank you for being here. We thank you for the ability to even have this platform. We honor you. We want to always honor you with our words, and we don't take it lightly. Bless those who are watching. If they love you, Lord, and if they don't love you, then protect everyone from them. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right. I'll put some comments also.
We have 3 Facebook pages: Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch, Antlers and Surrounding Areas; the Choctaw Missing and Murdered Woman, WOMBMAN, and Sun Center and Database, and the Lead Tracker E Facebook pages. And we invite you to join all of those.
Also, the Bigfoot documentary, $101 is a documentary we have taken from tracking, doing some tracking locates from different areas, going into some areas to get you the information that you need. That documentary also does have Bigfoots on that. And we're going to show a little bit of the clips of that tonight also. The Predator Bigfoot and the Spiritual Warrior's Path, the new book that we have written. It's on PDF form only right now. As soon as we can get everything worked out, it'll be a soft cover, but some people have went ahead and ordered the PDF, and we're going to try to work something out with you when the soft cover comes out. But we want to encourage everyone to get that book, that PDF, if you need it right now. We were talking with a person today about a certain situation that he has a lot of predators around his area. He had almost the same story that we've heard from a couple of other people. He's wrote into how to hunt, the Steve guy, and then they did some interviews with some other people, but there's still no help for him, and things are still the same way they are, if not worse now. So we're hoping that we can get an interview or to talk with him. We talk in messages right now to the young man. He did get the PDF form book today, and he's already started in the sections that he needed to look at first. But he's going to get through that book, and then we said that we wanted to talk to him afterwards because he does have activity right now, as some of our guests have had activity, but we were able to help them deter Bigfoots and predators from their areas. This is a different channel. It's not an entertainment channel. It's an education channel, and if there are things happening right now, activities right now that you have, and you do need help, you can contact us through here, or our email, and that's all in the link below. But don't hesitate to get a hold of us if you need us. If you're not getting help anywhere else and there's no answers, we'll talk with you and see what we can have a long conversation with you and start you with deterring tactics and things that you do need to know. If you can, get that PDF form book right now, right away, and we'll send that out to you. It's only $25, and we'll send it right out to you. We do have that book being translated into Spanish also. We don't know when that will be back yet, but when we do get that back, we will also have that out for the more Spanish speaking friends that we have. But all of our trackers already have a copy of this book. We wanted to make sure that they all had this book. So one way or the other, they all have it and have read it that I know of. Also, Patreon members, we want to thank you for your support. You can trust us when we say that it has helped us get from place to place and help other people and do things that we normally couldn't do. It helps out with gas and everything like that. There's also a PayPal and a Cash App. If someone wanted to purchase the Bigfoot documentary or the Predator Bigfoot and Spiritual Warrior's Path book, those are also in the link or in the description below. And also, if you're having problems right now, please go to our channel, or it's at 728 Jerry Williams is this channel also. There is a Tracking and Deterrence 101 for homeowners trailer and a tracking and deterrence 101 for homeowners. 3 hours, it's probably about 3 hours and 15 minutes. It's the full tracking and deterring that we did at a friend's home. It was a place that we'd never been to. They were having activity. They asked us to come in and see what we could do. So we came in, and from the beginning, you'll see in that video, and it's a free video, it's a 3 hour video, that we will show you how we lay traps to find out what is there. We want to know what's there, and we did the audio, night vision, thermals, all on that video. So if you are having problems right now, please go and watch those videos. But also, if you're having those problems, you're going to have the spiritual problems, the translucency that you're going to be seeing. That also kind of boggles the mind. So if you can, also go and I don't know if it's linked below, but it is on this channel, and I believe it's on Lee Tracker E's channel. But it's a spiritual house cleansing with Lee Tracker E and Jerry Williams, and that's how we clean houses. We basically go room to room. We seal off every room after we clean one room, move to the next one. But always you have to put God in that place once you clean that area. That is also shown how to do. And we clean, not, I mean, we do help clean homes if people need that also. But what we're talking about, the spiritual cleansing, is getting rid of anything that might be there that we just really can't see with our eyes. So you'll see how we do that in that video. Shout out, yes.
We have also Post Office Box 655 Antlers, Oklahoma, 74523. And we want to say hello to Tanya and Jose of Las Venturas and Oklahoma Adventures. We got to spend some time with them this weekend and this past weekend, and that was a lot of fun.
There will be a video coming out also on their channel. It's either Oklahoma Adventures or it's Las Aventuras. And they may be on here later, but the video, the tracking that we did, it was a track and locate for a pond, some other blind areas, and we was going to do a night walk with them, but it was just too humid and too hot, and plus that we were having activity there, and it wasn't advisable to do that, so we returned. But that trailer or that video should be coming out on their channel hopefully this week. Also, this is not an open forum. It's not a open topic kind of conversation thing in the chat room. What we do here is we'll give the lesson and talk about what we're talking about, sharing that information, and we're really talking to the trackers here, but other people are allowed to listen into what we're talking about as we share this information with our trackers. And we just, since we have new people here, we want to go over some things and help you understand what we're talking about. But this is a place of sharing information and for interviews and for teaching. So, and we do ask that we have some of our monitors or our trackers who are in the room also to please keep an eye on the comment section. And any questions that you have about the topic will be answered at the end of whenever we're through, and you'll know when that is. But our monitors will be keeping. Now, our monitors, even if you do have a question, our monitors will probably answer those questions for you.
On the tracking team.
The monitors are on the tracking team. They are trackers, but they will answer those questions for you. To us, we hear those same questions over and over and over, and our trackers hear those same questions over and over. and so they can answer them for you, left or right. But on the topic, the comments and the questions, we save that for the end. So we don't, so we can just do the lesson and not try to read comments or things like that. So.
And that's just so that we can keep moving, progressing for the people that have been watching for a while. But we're glad that you're here, and we do appreciate your questions for sure. Should we go through the comments?
Yeah. See who's all here tonight already. How are we doing?
Henry's here. Henry says, well, nice day up here. Morning was 44 degrees. Wow, that does sound nice. Linda says, Henry, that's nice, but too cold for Texans. Linda says, hello, JW, and hello to us and everyone joining.
Right.
Hello, Linda. Henry says, I know I lived in Killeen for a year. It got cold for 2 weeks. One day got sleet. Might have spelled it wrong. Fort Hood. That's a pretty area.
Mm-hmm.
Linda says, no, you spelled correctly. Yep, that's us here. I laugh at how we dress, even when it's in the 50s, north wind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
Harper says, oh, CEO.
Hey, Harper. Hey, Linda.
From
hey,
Georgia.
Henry. Scott.
Harper, thank you for showing me the right way to spell that. I've been running those I've been running those together into one word. So I appreciate it. Is it either way?
Yeah.
I never did it. I never asked. Linda says, amen. Scott says, hello, everyone.
Scott's here.
You doing good, Scott?
Nathan's here.
Yeah.
All right, Nathan.
Darcy, here.
Judy.
Greetings. From
some sunny California.
It's not letting me. Oh, there it goes. Sunny salutations from Cali, Nathan. Hello there. Yeah, a lot of activity around there, California. Mm-hmm. Glad you're here, Nathan.
So tonight we're talking about blinds and ambush spots. A lot of people, it's to all of our trackers and all the people, and most of the people on this channel, it's still hard to believe that there are people who have never, or at least don't know about the Predator Bigfoot. With all the reports around the world, every state has the reports, every county has reports. People know people who have seen these things. There's so many YouTube channels that are, researchers. There's scientists, DNA scientists, who are proving the existence, but it's still something that to know that there are people who do not know that these creatures are out there, or do not want to know, and are like a ostrich with their head in the sand or something. Mm-hmm. But we're going to show you a couple of videos and photos tonight of different kind of blinds, and we're going to talk about where we found those. But we want you to understand that where you are, we're not 2 million miles up in the woods or in the mountains. We're not 50 miles from the nearest town. Towns are around us, cities, neighbors, ranchers, vacation areas. There's recreation areas near us, big lakes where people go, campers, hikers, four-wheelers, what they call trail riders or horseback riders, all over this area. So it's not like we're in a secluded area. You're not in a secluded area. Everything that we found, and I'm not sure about the states, but I think these are mostly Oklahoma photos tonight. I think we may have some Texas in here. But where you find these things, you don't have to go and spend, $50,000 to fly to North Canadian Washington or someplace. Um, you can find these structures and things that we're going to talk about tonight in your neighborhood, um, any town, any city. You just got to know where to look and what you're looking at when you see it. Ponds, creeks, lakes, wherever you fish, wherever you hunt, wherever you swim. Um, but we're going to start off tonight, and I'm going to have, I'm going to ask Lee Trackery if she'll explain this first photo to you. And while we have it here, she's going to explain it to you, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about it.
This is a blind that is in Antlers, Oklahoma. It's near a daycare and a walking track and a senior center. It was taken about a year, maybe 2 years ago. And giant structure behind it. From inside this ambush blind, there are feathers and bones, and there's a 360-degree view all the way around it. You can see the people walking with their dogs on the walking track. You can hear and see the back of the businesses there, the buildings there. There's some dumpsters behind there, and nobody noticed me sitting in that blind. And so imagine if I was covered in fur that looked like dead pine needles.
So that blind right there was probably about 150 yards from the daycare.
Mhm.
There's a walking track there, but there's a daycare there, and there's a senior citizen building right next to it. To that, there's a small walking track there, and that blind is all around through there. And we did track that area. There's more than that blind. There was you could hear people talking. There were some workers in the distance also.
One of the largest structures we've ever seen of the giant tree bows, but they all met towards each other like a big top circus tent. And imagine the size of one as well. It was huge and just not too many feet from those blinds. Footprints everywhere, deep footprints. They were very, very comfortable.
We found these blinds in many places, and we did check the places where we would have our kids or where we would take our family. It's the local swimming holes. This is the local fishing places. We didn't go try to find an isolated lake off in some volcano area. We just went to the nearest places where we've always fished, we've always swam, um, the parks and things like that. We get calls from time to time from friends telling us or explaining what's going on at their homes or in their areas. We got a call. Well, we actually called a person. We didn't get a call, but we called a person because they had called the police about a prowler, and this the police came out. Uh, they shined the lights around. They didn't see anything, and they left. They said, "Well, there's no prowler around here, I guess." And they took off very quickly. They didn't stay very long. Um, and I heard about that because she put it on Facebook that she had a lot of police at her house. Well, it wasn't a lot, but the lights and everything. They did a quick look and then they left. But I knew that area, or we knew that area, and it's a active area, and we knew that they had grandchildren that they watch every now and then. So we asked if we could come and visit and do a look around and see what's in the area, just to make sure, if it's a man, we'll find those shoes, we'll find that footprint, or we'll find, something that may be a sandal or a boot print. We'll find something like that, a scuff or something. Um, So our friend agreed that we could come out and do a walk around. Now, we did find a lot of Bigfoot structures, a lot of um, Bigfoot prints that led up to the house. There was a lot of blinds that were just a little ways back of um, the wood line. And if you've seen the DVD, you know exactly what we're talking about and exactly where the blinds were. If you watch that DVD, we will tell you that there is a 50 yard no disturbance line. But that has been broke these last couple of years. They've been moving in really close since 2020. So that line has been broke. But normally it's 50 yards from the wood line. Just go 50 yards in and you're going to start finding structures and blinds, ambush areas, and those bows, like these bows behind us. You're going to find the bent trees like that 50 yards out, and that is in that documentary. Um, so we went out to our friend's house and we started, as we always do with the circle track. You know, we find where they had the most disturbance, and we'll go in a circle track. You know, if you go in a straight line, you may miss that track. That track may be in the line or maybe stepped over. But if you go in a circle track, you're going to find that track. You're going to find prints. And that's what we did. We started uh, tracking that area for them. We found some really fresh clawed Bigfoot footprints. Um, but we had tracked into the woods, tracked out to the back line, and started coming back as soon as we hit the property line, started making our way back. And that's where we found the fresh ones. And those fresh ones were heading back to the house. And we followed those tracks back, and that's where we found the hidden ambush areas. And we're going to show you one of those ambush areas, those blinds that they had made, so that they could view the home without being seen. Uh, this kind of V'd up tree, it's got brush pulled in front of it also to the left, and right behind all that debris in that tree that's been put there, that's not natural, that's been all stashed in there. There's a brick home in the background, and children and grandchildren play there. There's a lot of there's a trampoline out there. Kids play, the birthday parties. But this blind, this is one of the closest blinds. There was blinds. There were blinds all the way around the home, and there was trails leading up to those blinds. So this is an active area.
And to the window where the grandchildren slept.
Into the window where the grandchildren slept. It was all in the strategic angles where they wouldn't be seen, in the darkest areas, at those angles where they wouldn't be seen. And that's where you're going to be.
Just outside the light.
Just outside the light. That's where you're going to find these blinds. That's where you're going to find these ambush areas. Watch those game trails. Now, this area also has, we went in a little further into the town area. Lead Tracker E had found this structure near the railroad track, I believe, or something.
Yes, it was just exactly by the railroad tracks. You could see it clearly. Behind there was a lot of activity, a lot of bows inside of it. And this wasn't the only structure like this. This was just the most developed one. Inside of it was the sharpened cane, the broken off cane that had been sharpened. And one boot was just outside of it, heading towards more structures and shelters. And the feeling going into there was so intense. I didn't go any further into that. The group of structures, the noises picked up, the vocals picked up. Oh, this had been a cane. It's been picked, sharp. It was broken off. We do know that they use weapons in their ambush spots.
This has been broken off.
There was no sign of recent human activity. There was just one boot that had been there for a while that was further away and partly up under debris. But the vocals were just going goofy with the whistles and just everything picking up and getting more intense, and you just learn to get that feeling after a while when you need to back out. So,
And we're not saying, and I know there's always some kind of jokester out there, but we're not saying that the Bigfoot made a cane. We're saying that this was a cane that the predators used and sharpened the tip of it. They broke it, they sharpened it. And if you could see these, you would see that this is chipped off. It's not cut off, it's not sharpened.
they'll do the
It's
same
not
with
broke
sticks.
that way.
Yeah.
It's chipped all the way up to a point.
Mm-hmm.
They'll do that with all the sticks in the woods. This is another example. And this would impale anybody. All of this right here. And they sharpen these out there in the woods.
And they do use fire. And they do have methods of hardening wood.
No.
This is in southeast Texas. On the far side behind it was an old logging trail. Originally, the logging trail had logs that were broken off on both ends that were laid across to block the path. When I would move the logs, they would reappear, or new logs would reappear, and this went on over a period of a couple years. And then eventually the year that I got busy starting to clear that land out there, more logs came out there and the foliage wall came across the path. I thought it was just really fast overgrowth. I was just learning, and I just noticed the difference in the land, and I cut it down and went back, a couple days later to do some more work, and there was a whole tree, a large tree that was 23 inches, if I remember correctly, around the trunk, was pushed over exactly the proper distance away so that the tree top of it could block across the entire path. And so then I knew that it was a blind on the other side of it. Further on beyond that was when I started seeing the X's, which mean keep out, and then the bows, and then in this area was a vine. The more I looked at it, the more I realized that it looked like a fence. But I didn't realize that until I cut back down another logging path and was coming back the opposite direction. Didn't notice it when I was going from south to north, but when I was coming back north to south, I could see this structure. So on the far side, on the back side of this is the fence and the logging path. Now I had come around on a separate little, or not a logging path, but a fire break trail. And these are just more down the limbs, and there was a whole group of structures in this area. It went on and on.
I want to show also if we'll just talk about this, a couple of these real fast. Now this is, if you can see in the far distance, there's a home, and if you can see it, if you can see in the far distance, there's a home way in the background. But these are Bigfoots that will sit way back in the distance with a blind over them and foliage, and just look just enough to watch that home. It'll be out of distance. A lot of times, I mean, we're going to talk about homes and other things like that in just a minute, but most of the time, these Bigfoots, especially during the day, they stay a certain distance always away from you. So if you was to come out of your house, they would stay the same distance you were, wherever you were, because they know how far the distance of an eyesight that would look. But they will stay out of that distance. No matter where you go, they'll stay that distance with you. But here's that drawing again, the artwork. These are Bigfoots, and this is an actual place. But these are Bigfoots underneath the blind with the foliage in front of them, and there is a home in the distance, in the background. Another thing to look for while you're out there, around a tree, which will be, there will be a tree in your yard or just on and outside of the light where the darkness is. That, look at those trees and see if that ground is it matted down all the way around, or if there's a stone out there or a stump. See if that ground is not matted all the way around, just like this, just like on the bottom, because that the Bigfoots, the predators, will go in a circle and keep an eye on everything. It's looking for game. It's looking for anything in any direction. It's going to eat anything in any direction. Just remember that. Here's another drawing that we're talking about with the Bigfoots, that they will lay up in the trees in the dark area. They will spread their arms and legs out over the branches. They will have their body part mostly towards the center and the head always on the back side away from the person. That on to the right side with that tree that's being bent down, that is to cause a blind, and we call those pull downs. So if you see one, that's a pull down and that's a blind. Here's also a picture of lead tracker E with two trees done that way.
The height of the pull down is shoulder or armpit height of the Bigfoot that made it.
Say it one more time.
The height of the pull downs are, you can expect those to be the height of the Bigfoot at about at its shoulder. So the higher the pull down, the taller the Bigfoot. And clearly the larger around, the bigger the Bigfoot.
If you can see this, this is another blind that's being created, another
the poles, those poles are not random there. They've been placed there, and then they start filling in with the tree line webbing. You're creating a blind. These are all manipulated branches. If you don't remove the dead foliage, they will use it. They'll move it around. They'll break off what they need if they have to. But if you just leave it laying around, you gave them the raw materials to work with.
Trees, they use trees left and right. They're always in the trees. Don't think that they're not. They hang upside down in trees. That's what throw a lot of people off if the face is upside down. They hang upside down just like a squirrel in the tree. They can cling onto it. They got claws. It's nothing for them to just cling into a tree.
They
One,
can,
go ahead.
they can hang sideways, so you may be seeing one eye on top of another eye, so you don't notice that that's what it is. They'll stack up a bunch of them together, so it's all kinds of sets of eyes, or one eye of one and one eye of another.
We had a tracker or a scout send in today a picture, and it had a Bigfoot here, a young Bigfoot, but it had like a bat, the face kind of like a bat here. It was wrapped around here and had the claws right there, and the other hand come right here. So you got that distortion of almost like a face, but there's too much distortion or something there. But that's what we're talking about. They stack up on top of each other. They ride on like piggyback. The males carry the young ones, so they're going to have, and they carry a lot of them. It's not like they're just carrying one.
Hanging on like little spider monkeys.
Like those spider monkeys, like spiders just riding on the back. There'll be a whole bunch of them, different sizes. So you may have a lot of eyes, or you may only have 4 or 5 pair of eyes. But they will be in the trees, and they will be in the trees in a way that even with their translucency, or if this was a pure black or a dark auburn looking Bigfoot, haired Bigfoot, you would not see this, but we made it to where you would see how they stick their claws into the wood. It's kind of like with the tree, the loggers.
Mm-hmm.
With the spikes, the heel spikes that dig into the tree. It's the same way. They can stay there as long as they need to. They got 3 other pair of claws to help them distribute that weight.
Plus the extra length in their hands too.
Yeah, and the extra length so they can curl around further and more secure. Another ambush spot. Is the tree out there in the front yard, the tree out there in the backyard, the big tree, the little tree, the brush, the bushes, and we'll get to that. But a Bigfoot will stand behind a tree, put his arms up. The feet will stand like this so it can get around the tree more. Like if my head was a tree, it would stand just like that so it could get all the way around the tree and as close to it as possible so there's no separation. So at any angle, you would be looking like, is that a fat tree, or why is it fat right there? But now it's, and you can tell a tree, the diameter or the circumference of a tree, you should know. If you see bulges like that, that's not a normal tree.
And that's how that circle is made around the tree, with them doing that, moving around the tree to look at things, to peek around.
And if you find footprints, like if they've jumped somewhere, look for footprints that landed like that. Don't think they land like this. Even when they land like this. Now, as far as the bushes go, we drew an example here. They will lie at the bottom of the brush, bottom of the bush. They'll get in that darkest spot and they'll blend in. They look like a bush sometimes.
You shouldn't even have these outside your homes for human predators. They're blocking your view and they're creating blinds if you have these in your yard.
They look like a laying dog. Some look like a laying dog with a beak. But what you're seeing are fangs, or you're seeing claws that they're hanging on to. Now, just as in this example here, Here is a picture of one that is laying sideways, just as that example is. It's the same way that this is laying down, curled up, legs up, arms in, as small as it can get in that brush line to use as camouflage. And if you can see the head in the bottom right, bottom left, I'm sorry, it's just looking straight there. But if you can follow the body, you'll see where the knee is and the arms are. And the arms are kind of laying like one's around the head, and the front paw is coming towards you. And the other one is, if you follow that with the head, follow that shoulder, you'll see the other arm. And then the knee is right behind the leg, right behind that arm. And then the foot is in the bottom right. But it's laying just like this one, except this one actually poked its head up to look at us. And that's what gave it away. Another ambush spot is for berry pickers, for what are those mushroom people called? Morsels? Morels? Morel, mushroom pickers. Also, the people who pick herbs, such as
Foragers.
And foragers. Like the turkey fan medicine, for cancer.
Turkey tail.
Turkey tail. The morels, mushrooms, all the berry pickers, the berry bushes, the blueberry bushes. Bears can hide in there, but Bigfoots hide in there too, especially if you're in an isolated area, or if that berry bush is in an isolated area where you have to really drive up to get it. They try to claim every kind of food out there, and they have a different, we talked about this the other day, they have a different understanding about harvest time. They also, whenever it's harvest time, they come in one night and they wipe out everything. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be one and let's wait, let that one, we're not hungry enough for that next one, so we'll let it stay on the vine and eat it in 3 days. Or the Bigfoots don't do that. They will come through and wipe out your entire grove, especially if you're the only fruit producing people in that area. Or if you're the only ones who've got gardens, you got to watch your gardens and watch your cornfields. They will take your corn too.
Like locusts.
Just like locusts. And we just showed this the other day, that they know what harvest time is. This is a totem that was used to let the Bigfoots know that their garden was ready. This was gifted to us. It's not ours. We would not gift or feed Bigfoots whatsoever. But they know what harvest time is, and they know what gardens are. They know if you're going to be home or not. They watch you 24/7 anyway. But those berry bushes, those low bushes are very dangerous, because a large-sized Bigfoot will do this to get as low as it can to lay behind that berry bush and wait for a berry picker. They'll wait for a bear to show up. They'll wait for any kind of berry-eating animal. We've had a lot of people also, after seeing that image, let us know that they have seen that in their berry bushes and places like that, or by lake, by bridges. They were hiding in the bushes that way too, where people go with fish around those bridges.
Or think of also when you're ducking behind a bush to use the restroom.
Yeah.
Could be hiding in that bush.
Remember, we talked about what the warrior's responsibilities are, and I hope they would have been with us for a while. To secure your areas first, before you do your recreation. But if you're while you're doing your scouting, if it's got too much activity, it's time to find another place,
Yeah. Go to a more populated place.
a more populated place. Watch the swimming holes. We did talk about the water spirits. Now we're going to let your eyes adjust, but right in the very middle of those reeds hanging down, the two on the outside that's hanging down, if you'll look in between those two, you're going to see two eyes, a nose, and a small face. There are others, but these predator Bigfoots will wait in water for fishermen, for hikers to stop in, campers. There's always a designated place where people go and do recreation or gather water. There will be walkways down to that area, favorite fishing spot. But these things will get up, just like in the movie Predator, where Arnold Schwarzenegger gets the mud and packs it on, gets against the bank. They do the same thing. They'll put sticks on their face just to get that distortion going. Because when you look in there, if they close their eyes, all you see is mud and sticks. Look
Shadows.
and shadows. Yep. We did do a segment on water spirits. It's a couple of videos down. We would encourage everyone to go and watch that. It's a very good segment on water spirits. It will help you, will save your life, and it has saved people's lives already. And we're glad for that. Still
That's also a section in the book.
And that's also a section in the book. Also, the new book, Predator Bigfoot and the Spiritual Warrior's Path. You can use the the Patreon or the Cash App on the back here to order that book, and that part on water spirits is also in there. Also, a lot of information in that book that you need to know before you really go anywhere.
When you're going around your town, check your local gathering areas. Check around the areas where the kids play baseball or softball, any kind of sporting events, churches. Check that anywhere with a tree line that has a lot of human activity. Check those, or encourage the people that run those to check for certain things, to look for structures, because they'll be where they can watch the activity, the noise, and the trash, and the children attract them.
Human voices attract predators.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a wild wolf, coyote, could be a hog. A hog will still come check out a human voice. Don't be yelling while you're out there camping, screaming, running out there. Be in a secure area. Secure your area before you do that.
Don't be blasting music.
Blasting music. Don't be drinking and being drunk out there to where you can't do anything when these things show up.
Don't be knocking. Don't be tree knocking. Don't be whistling.
Whatever they're doing on those other channels, don't do. But also now ravines. Ravines are a very deadly place to be. You've got sides that are coming straight down. You've got now Bigfoot will dig a cave, or what we call embankment blinds, out, which is also in the book. We explain a bit more, but they dig these embankment blinds out. They dig caves, and then they start digging tunnels, all used to trap food or people. Well, people are food to them. But with that extra clay that they're digging out, all that soil, you can't just put it anywhere. So what they do is they throw it up on the wall. Well, let me just see. They throw it up. I don't want to. They throw it up on the ravine wall, where the animals, if you was in that area, where you would naturally,
or humans,
or humans, where a human would naturally find a place to go up, that's where you're going to find all the loose and extra soil, or all the loose and extra mud or clay. It's used so that the prey bogs down and gets stuck, or slides and wastes energy and just slides back down anyway.
Yeah.
So we're going to show you a couple of those and what we're talking about. We did find a couple of areas like this, and some of the footage we're going to show you is in the Bigfoot documentary and has been on Las Venturas and Oklahoma Adventures. So this is in a ravine that we were scouting. We were tracking these areas, looking for the reasons why the homeowner has had horses come up missing and dead.
They are down to 4 out of 12 horses as of a month or so ago.
This is not the biggest embankment blind or cave that we found in this area where all these horses are missing.
And understand also that the openings can be much smaller than the cavern that is behind it. And that there are different openings to many of these embankment blinds.
While scouting with Tracker M, this is a footprint that we found, or that he found while tracking in that area, where these blinds are, where these ambush areas are. That one measured 21, and I think 8 inches wide, 8 inches across, 21 long. Here was another one. Now this is also in a ravine area. And always look underneath the trees, the tree trunks, because they can still use that soil. That tree will still stand. They don't have to go under all the tree, but just enough, and it will build a sturdy cave or a sturdy place to hunt.
They will also move entire trees over to other sections of the forest.
And we call that Bigfoot landscaping, and I believe that's in the book also. Another ravine that we had found, another cave that we had found. We're going to show you a quick clip of that. And give us 1 second with this. Now, whenever we're going through this ravine, that tree laying across, we call a bridge, a predator bridge. The troll in the story, the troll underneath the bridge on both ends, Billy Goat Gruff or something like that. Mm-hmm. Those stories have a lot of truth to them. Those fairy tale stories have a lot of truth to them, because you're going to see that on both ends there are predator caves that were made. Here's the first video.
Our brute strength, strangling, breaking necks, biting, crushing, and decapitation, as well as drowning and suffocation. Razor sharp claws or teeth to rip prey apart. Tracker E takes the lead tracker position. As Tracker E observes the ambush place, I stand guard, awaiting Tracker E's report.
I found tracks and the ambush spot in the exact location under the bridge. I waited for my support, then observed for sound or movement. From the entrance, I could see the bridge, signs of struggle, and anything moving in the area. The cave was intentionally and strategically dug out and hidden. It was roughly L-shaped, approximately 12 feet deep on the stem end and approximately 5 to 6 feet wide from top to bottom and side to side. I entered the cave and could almost stand upright. I'm 5 foot 8 inches tall. I could see the shafts of light above shining through the holes I mentioned earlier. They lit up the longer section to the right or north so that I could see the sloping ceiling of the section being dug out in the back. The entire area looked well used with little debris. Looking upward, I could see reinforcing wood intertwined. My feelings informed me it was time to back out. My support was at low ready, so I exited. The way I had entered was too steep and covered in mud and not returnable, so I made my way down to the creek bed through a narrow runoff channel that was rib-high on the sides and full of roots, debris, sharp sticks, and snags from the knees down. We made our way back to base and also cast a set of juvenile Bigfoot tracks.
And so that was a big cave in a ravine. There was a couple there in a ravine that we had tracked back through. We went back with some friends, Jose and Tanya Marquez from Oklahoma Adventures or Los Aventuras, and we hope you're here tonight. But we went back with them to get another look, I guess you would say, because we like to do the upkeep of what's going on periodically. We want to go back and see what has changed or what hasn't changed. Are there any new tracks or old tracks, disturbances, animals, vegetation, things like that. We want to, and we always return to check on things. So even the people that we help deter, we will return back, check on your area with you while you're there. We will visit just to make sure if there's something else that we need to do or something we may need to, like clear some more brush or something like that. We will do that to help deter.
We wanted to train them teach them about the blinds of the embankment blinds, because they're out there walking this a lot for their channels, and we just wanted them to know where the traps are.
Anyone doing research needs to know about this, and they also need to know that these things tunnel.
Hikers.
Just like a trapdoor spider, there will be a hole waiting on you.
Yeah.
Along the ravines where those trees are, you've got to, but you're not going to find them where the normal hiker would go. It has to be on the very opposite side coming in and then coming back, because they put their blinds, caves, ambush spots at a 45-degree angle coming the opposite way.
Right.
So you're not looking at that 45-degree angle whatsoever. You're thinking straight lines. You're going straight down the path. You're going straight this. You're not looking diagonal or this diagonal that's coming back this way where you're going that way.
You know how they cut a driveway in the woods so that you can only see it from one direction on the highway? These are like that.
People need to know that around these ravines, these caves are going to be hidden around the corner where you can't get to. So if you can get to that corner, that's where you look. Don't expect to just look at that ravine and find it. It's not going to be that easy and that wide open. It's going to be strategically in around the corner to where there's brush to where you really can't get to the other side just to look at it.
It will be where a tree has naturally fallen or where there was a wash, and it will also be where a tree has been placed.
Yeah, you'll find trees that have the root in up, but not at the bank, but a little bit in. They will knock those over just to make a bridge, just to have animals cross that. so that they're waiting on both sides. Or if the animal jumps off the tree, that bridge, and goes into the ravine, there's also other Bigfoots that will push that food, that prey, down the ravine and into other awaiting Bigfoots. They are group workers. They all eat, they all consume, and they all have to eat. They will eat anything they can get in there. Be very careful around those areas. Watch this video, get the documentary, get the book, learn about these things. Now we took Jose and Tanya back to that area, and we're going to just show a real quick clip because this place that we went back to is in Oklahoma. If you ever watched the Bigfoot Odyssey episode 88 with Mark Copeland, this is that same exact area where he had his children were being stalked. He was being harassed by the Bigfoots. The authorities around here would not give him a definite and kind of ridiculed him also. But the people around here know these things are around here. But we're going to show you a real quick video. It's about 2.5 minutes, and it's where we took them back. But we want you to see what we're talking about where people would just walk over not knowing that there's a hole right there that you can get pulled down through. But we're going to show you it looks just like the ground, but if you don't know it's there and you're a researcher and you're out walking these forest lines, you've got to know these things are there.
Animales a comer y agarrarlos como presa. Ustedes pueden ver, aquí dice que esos son trampas, todos los huesos de lo que se comen. Que donde caen las trampas, aquí están.
Chequen nomás el tamaño de la presa que devoró aquí.
Yeah.
Los huesos esos son de una presa reciente, los que estaba tomando Tania ya. Estos son de una muy vieja. Quiere decir que estos patones han estado aquí en esta área por mucho tiempo. Estas criaturas eran como dos o tres criaturas que brincaron hacia aquel lado, no pasaron por el arroyo, sino brincaron. Y como son muy altas, se agarran de las ramas y pasan hasta el otro lado. Pero está mirando algo en allá. Vamos para allá. Vamos, dale.
¿Dónde está ese árbol?
Sí, este es ese árbol. Las trampas de las que nosotros hemos estado hablando, los patones usan estos lugares, les ponen hojas todo alrededor y cuando una presa llega y pisa aquí, va a dar hasta y hasta otra. Así que si llegas a pisar ahí arriba, te vas hasta ahí abajo. Y si está un patón escondido por aquí, pues te jala para abajo nomás. Es una trampa natural.
Mira.
Chequen. Imagínense que ese era su pie. Y cuando termina de abajo siendo la cena del patón.
Okay, that was when we took our friends back into that area. We wanted to show you that underneath all that, there's a whole tunnel system out there. There's so many researchers that are walking right on top of these traps. It's just, and we see it in video and things like that, that we need people to understand what you're walking on and where you're walking at. And if you're in a predator area, you have to think like this whole area is set up like a trap. It's all
Homeless
about
people,
homeless people, especially.
runaways, kids just exploring, adventurous types will poke around in areas like this or try to hide in areas like this.
There's some areas like this photo right here that if a person who didn't know what this was, they would come out and try to play. If these were children, in that area, children would try to make a clubhouse out of that.
Parents would take their kids to that to pose on it for cool pictures. We took it for the purposes of this documentary to teach people to stay away from the areas like that, or just be sure you check it out carefully, or have a guard while you take those pictures.
Let me see if I got the video. Hope everybody got to heard that, but that was when Lee Tracker E went to turn around. You heard pop, 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 pop. It was a tree that was being bent at that time, and we knew we was in an active area over there. But also in this area, we were trying to explain, which we actually got to find one of these, but tried to explain to people about that the Bigfoots will also do tree landscaping, or Bigfoot landscaping is what we call it, and that's in the book also, where it'll pull up a tree, take it over here and plant it so they'll have a better position at watching the game trails or a person's house or an apartment complex or even a work area.
Even look up walking trees on YouTube videos, and there are some that the tree's roots actually grow and the tree moves over time, but there are others, there's many videos of it looks like the tree is moving from one section of the forest to another.
They will hollow out trees or dead trees, stumps, and they will actually pick up a whole stump, hollow it out, and take it to another spot, put that stump down, and get inside it, and sit there and watch a game or someone's house. People don't notice stumps like that. Sometimes they use them as bathrooms as well. But we want to show you this one real fast. It's right next to a stream. There's a bridge there. There's a tree that's fallen over, or that was pushed over, or placed there. That's what we call bridges, because it's used for animals to go across or people to go across to capture food, to put them in a vulnerable spot. It's going to be in a strategic spot to where animals can cross, or it's going to be in a place where animals would naturally come up. It's going to be put right there so that they can have access to get onto that bridge, onto that trap. But Lee Tracker E and I found this tree, which it was hollowed out. You could get inside of it, and you could you had the best view of everything. We'll show it to you real fast. That was pretty fast. Let me show it to you one more time. But Lee Tracker E is right there. Her face is in the hole of the tree that was made, hollowed out. And then if it goes this way, then it comes back, and she turns her back, and you don't see her. That's all a Bigfoot has to do. I don't think anybody caught that one.
But if you can pause it on your screen, you can see it in there. Just know that it was big enough for sure a juvenile Bigfoot to sit inside of. And nearby it also was a game trail. It was facing a game trail. And they love those trees that are burnt out when there's a forest fire or something like that. Those trees are so easy for them to hide in because of the shadows. You see those by roadsides.
And even if those trees are burnt at the bottoms or darkened at the bottoms, these predators, these small ones, will use that as a hiding area.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I got. Here's one that's in front of this tree in that shadow line. I thought it'd be bigger than this, but you can see the eyes on the side. It's got pointed ears. It's sitting right there. You may be able to see the outline in front of that tree. But what we call shadow languages is where you look at dark on dark. You see the shadow of the tree that's on the grass, and it's a light dark shadow. Follow that shadow up to the tree, and you're going to see a dark shadow sitting in front of that tree. It's not big, it's small, but that's where the scouts are, those small ones that we don't see or that we don't even expect, because we're thinking, 5 foot, 10 foot, 15 foot predators, not to mention the 35-foot ones or the 20-footers. But these small ones get up close. They're going to be the ones outside your home, by your propane tanks, your wood sheds.
They're training.
They're training. They're getting as close as they can.
They're learning how to mimic.
And I just want to show this one photo. It's a photo one of our trackers sent in. They've had a lot of activity for a while now. This is one of their game cam photos. They normally didn't have this one up, but they got it. They finally got one up, and they took this photo and sent it in quite a few months ago. But they've had a lot of activity, and they've actually had some, I guess you would say, hands-on activity.
Mm-hmm.
But
we have another, I don't know if we have the photo with us, but it's a log that's laying down on the ground behind a wood pile at a homeowner's house. And so it's a wood pile, then a fence, then the log. And when we lifted up the log, it opened almost like a hinge door on a casket. And it was a hiding area inside there. And the knot hole you could view out that hole to what was going on at the wood pile. We found animal remains nearby, and just the tracks led to there. So they were observing the homeowner going to the wood pile and to the well house and the driveway. They could see several things. Their blinds are going to be wherever they're strategically the best to keep an eye on the things that you have a habit of doing: mailbox, bus stop, driveway where you park your car, your garage door, your barn door, your entrances to your home, your kids' windows, where the kids play.
Wherever your dark area is, especially like a trailer house or just a house, especially Indian homes too, they're going to have dark areas. Wherever that dark area is, that's where they're going to be.
If you have no skirting on your house, you need to get some. They'll even tunnel under the house, but it's a lot easier for them to get in there if you just leave the skirting on. So take care of that.
Do your due diligence. Secure your home the best you can secure it from any kind of type of predator, any what we call a human predator to one of these beasts, one of these beasts of the field. But you gotta get ready, you gotta get prepared, you gotta know all this stuff. You could be walking out there in the forest. Anyone can be walking out there in the forest and disappear that quick, especially if you don't know that you just walked onto a tunnel trap or something like that. Very easy for them to just cover up real fast again. These caves, these embankment blinds, when they pull people in, they they open from the inside, so they're going to have mud up on that wall, but when it opens this way, and you won't even see it. But if you poke something in there and it pops open,
Takes them no time.
Yep. And all they're going to do is just pat it back up. And we found a cave like that. Rains came through that next year, hit it real hard. That opened up that whole area. We could see where the whole area was a big old tunnel.
They'll lay up under the shadows of trampolines. They seem to have a really big fascination with kids on trampolines.
If you got a porch, even that low porch, they will be on the other side of the porch when you're coming home. So light those areas up. It's also in that book. All these, even the blinds, everything we're talking about is in that book.
Will you please show them with your hands how, like a spider, they'll move around? I like the way you do that.
Oh, just like if they do this with cars and they do this with people. So, say you're walking, and here's a tree right here, and there's a Bigfoot that's behind that tree. If you was to walk this way, it would crawl around that tree. It would move around that tree. And if you was walking by, whenever it got to right there, it would move to where you wouldn't catch it. It would always be moving the way that you would be going. It would wherever you would come, it would wait till you was leaving.
Like a spider.
Just like a spider. It will go around. And we showed you those pictures of it will be behind that tree with one arm up like this and one arm up like this. Wherever those branches are, it'll be behind them.
And that's why those circles.
And those circles, look for those circles in that backyard, in those dark areas. Those are the places you got to look. Don't look in the bright, open area, lit areas. Don't look there. Be strategic. Look in the dark areas.
Also look up, and even in the hollows of your roof, the valleys of your roof, where the shadows are the most, they can lay there. They can watch the entrance, be perched above the entrance.
Get that book, get the DVD. It's in PDF form right now. It's $25. Send it right out to you. Get started.
Watch our other videos.
Watch all these other videos. Go back, look over these videos. Go look over the trackers in Deterrence 101 for homeowners. Look up the spiritual house cleaning with Lee Tracker E and Jerry Williams. Look that up. I don't think we put it in the description tonight, but maybe the last 2 streams we did, so you can go back to those and look in those also and find that. Watch
the posts on our Facebook channels. We put up a lot of information and photos on those channels.
And you're going to find that everything that we're talking about is true. One day the other channels may get to where we're at, but we're sharing all this information because it's important right now. We can't wait for you to decide if you like our channel or not. We're not about that. It's about education. This education is very important. It's life-saving. It can help you, help your family, your neighbors. We've got people right now who's helping their entire neighborhood. Some neighborhoods are joining together to rid their areas of these things and checking on each other.
Keep that undergrowth pushed back. Remove the lawn debris. Cut it up so small it's unusable. Mulch it, burn it, get it out of there.
That's also in
Home
Tracking
deterrence.
and Deterrence 101 for homeowners. Watch that video. It's 3.5 hours, I think. There is a trailer also that's linked to this channel. Just look in the videos or look in the lives, I think. Maybe even in the community. But it is there. Look at it. especially if you need help right now. Look at those. It will help you. And then I would say get the book, read the book, give us a call. Get in contact with us if you're having problems. But that book will get you started on what you need to do right now. Then get in contact with us and we'll help you with more deterrence.
As soon as the leaves start falling, which is coming up soon, get out there in your tree lines, get out there in your elderly parents' tree lines, or anyone that you know that really needs the help, and check for them where these structures are. It generally starts with a pull down or a tree that's been pushed over. The pull downs are the main thing, and the pull downs can go all the way up a tree. A blind can be high in a tree. Watch for those too, because these are pouncing predators. So look for those pull downs and cut them down, chop them off, clean up those trees so that you know exactly how wide each tree is. When you look out your window, you can see tonight it just looks like what we call a fat tree. You can also put white cloth or white paint around the bottom of your trees so that you can see if a shadow passes, if it's too far out and you don't have enough lighting in that area. If you do need to call the authorities to help you because you're scared, you know that they're around there and they're bothering you, tell them there's a prowler. Tell them it's a prowler, because if you say Bigfoot, they're going to write you off as crazy, or they're going to know you're telling the truth and try to shut you up.
Or they won't come out till the next day.
Exactly.
We've seen that done, that they knew Bigfoots were in the area and they wouldn't come out till the next day. So choose your words wisely.
It was a prowler.
It was a prowler. Get them out there.
And
at
you're
least
not
get it
lying.
out there.
They are prowlers.
They are prowlers. They are creepers, crawlers.
They're
predators.
not your friend. They will never be your friend. They're not the friend of your children. They're not curious about your children. They're cunning. They want your children.
They want your meat, your flesh, your blood, and your energy. Your soul.
Yeah. We literally have a friend that I grew up with whose husband was about 9 years old, between 7 and 9, I don't remember exactly, but a Bigfoot stuck its hand through the window and tried to snatch him out of the bathtub. They want your kids. It wasn't curious about that kid. Earlier in the night, it had been pacing these kids through the woods and they got uncomfortable. They could hear it walking. You know, when they would walk, it would walk. When they would stop, it would stop. They didn't like it. They went inside and this little boy took a bath, and it scared him so much that he ran out in front of the rest of the family that was there for a family reunion with no clothes on, because he was just terrified to get away, and the whole family took it serious. You know, they didn't find the Bigfoot, but they said that the window was 7 feet off the ground, so its armpit was at least 7 feet off the ground. And you have people that are getting out there and going to contests and encouraging kids to do Bigfoot whoops, Bigfoot whooping contests, Bigfoot whistling contests, things like that. Get your picture with Bigfoot. You're putting those kids in danger, and you're teaching them that these things are their friends, and these things will eat your children. These things are eating children.
If you hear music, if you hear a voice that you just can't make out, if you hear the sound of children that you just can't make out, if you just can't make that voice out, those are Predator Bigfoots or a Predator hybrid that has listened to someone in the house when it's that muffled sound, because they do mimic the muffle also. So you're never going to hear complete words. You're going to be like, I can almost make it out. I know you can almost make it out. I know that song. You may hear that rhythm. I know that song, but I can't make the words out. The Bigfoots are just mimicking the sound through the wall, but add a muffle to it. And if you listen to the Sierra sound, that's exactly what it is. You can't make it out, but you can hear that muffled. You know what it is, but you just can't. Those are Predator Bigfoots. I've listened to someone before. Now they're at your house. Now they're outside your house, and they're trying to communicate.
And you'll notice that they sound especially with the Sierra sounds. There's one recording that we listened to, and it absolutely sounds like an abusive relationship if you are listening to it through the walls of a cabin. The woman sounds in torment. She's sobbing and crying, and the male deep, rough voice sounds like a man screaming at her and ordering her around, but it's muffled where you can't make out the distinct words. That's what they listen to, and that's what they're mimicking.
So if you hear that, you know that they're around. Watch that Tracking and Deterrence 101 for homeowners. You will see what we did to help the homeowner there. There's still light activity there, but nothing like it used to be. They've pushed the brush line back and things like that. They're getting a grip or more of a handle on the problem there, and they're coming to terms with it. So they're taking their actions to secure their home.
They have an extra challenge too, because the very next yard, just feet away, is an entire rooster farm with lots of dogs. So they constantly have activity, and those neighbors aren't part of the cleanup process.
Yeah. So that's what we was talking about tonight. We wanted to show you a couple of blinds. Ravines are really dangerous. We don't want y'all going into those. We don't want y'all going into the caves that we went into and the caves that we showed Jose and Tanya. We don't want y'all going into those boneyards that we found. That's why we made the video, the documentary, to show you those places that we don't want you going to, but you get to see them so you know what they look like and where to find them. Same way with tonight. We want to show you the blinds, where to look for them, and how dangerous it is just for the researchers to be walking around there, especially at night, especially around ravines and places like that, big trees especially, because they will dig under them, they will make their homes underneath them, they will lay a big trap like that. If you're walking out there, especially at night, you won't be found underground.
Old houses and sheds are another. Anywhere that the homeless or somebody that wanted to avoid people would hide, you're going to find these things, and these things are waiting for those people. They will even get in old boxcars.
Remember, bridges are an ambush area also.
Real bridges and the bridges that they make.
If you look at bridges, you're going to find a deer, you're going to find an armadillo, you're going to find a crow around a bridge, because they use those bridges to cause accidents. A deer on that bridge is gonna hit something, and they come out from underneath the bridge. They're under bridges. The troll underneath the bridge, they're waiting for food that way.
Clean up your trash and your junk. There's just no other way to say it. You're creating the blinds for them when you leave the old stove out there in the yard, or just get rid of it or move it way away from your property. Store it somewhere far away from your entrances and the places where you gather. Keep it out of there. The scent of the trash brings them also. So the blinds are going to be where they can get closest to those things.
If you have a regular road that you travel every day, start looking for, when you go over this certain hill, as soon as your eyes can see, look for skid marks, look for roadkill, look for blood marks, look for crows. Also, any place that has a corner, look for something on the side. Don't
safely.
Do it safely.
Slow, with nobody behind you.
Nobody behind you. Keep your eyes on the road. Just kind of glance. Don't.
It's a trap. We're not trying to get you into a trap. We just want you to know the trap.
The reason I say this is because I had a friend who I said turn here, and he turned. I meant up at this next right.
At the actual road.
At the next, and he turned right there. And then I had another friend who I said, okay, well, let's get in this right lane. So now I say, when it's clear, let's get into the right lane. So, but
they'll put a shiny object, something to distract you. That's another ambush point. Those curves are ambush points. They'll what's already there, they'll take advantage of it and enhance it. If the road's already weak there, they're going to pound it more to make it even weaker. If it's already muddy, they're going to dig it deeper. They might put dropping pops in there.
And that's also in the book. But also objects that's going to catch your attention, that shiny beer can, that shiny Coke can, that
balloon.
balloon that's put on the fence over there, a tire that's put on the fence over there. There's going to be something around that corner that's going to catch your attention off to the right. It's going to make you look to the right, and also in that same exact place, look for skid marks, blood, ravens, and animals or roadkill in that area. They want you to look over. They damage the road, so when you look over, taking that corner, you're going to go off the road. And people would have done it, and they will take out where it looks like a pothole. They will make a pothole on that corner. Watch for that, because you're going to be looking over there, all of a sudden, boom, and your wheel's going to turn, and they've got dinner.
The mud hole where the ATVs go, those different mud holes. We went on one track, and I don't remember how many, I would say maybe 23, 25 curves, and there was a puddle and a blind at all but maybe 3 or 4 of those. And they were all ambush spots. You know, each one is potential for those predator Bigfoots to be there at that time.
And they will dig out in those mud holes, dig them deep, so when that car comes through, it's going to go drop down.
And they may have the dropping pops shoved in so that you don't see it and you pop your tire.
And in those mud holes, like Lee Tracker is saying, in those mud holes, they will have a dropping pop, something sharp. So as you drive through that deep water, now you got a flat tire, you're out there, somewhere out there, camping or hiking. And
when you set up your camp and you leave your camp, maybe you set it up and you got to run to town or run up to the camp house because you forgot about the hot dog buns or whatever. You can count on that they're coming in if they know you're there. And if they're in the area, they'll come in and they'll check out that camp yard and they'll find the most strategic spot, or they already know it. They'll get in place at the most strategic spot to watch. Once you leave that campground, it has now become an ambush area. You may find campgrounds that are beautiful, set up in the woods that just look like picture perfect. And they've been set up by the Bigfoot because they know from time after time of watching humans what we desire, what we look for, what we create when we get there. Or their victims have created it and disappeared before they could use it.
so objects are a distraction, and distraction are traps.
Yeah.
Pay attention to all that.
Another trap at the tree line is puppies.
Puppies, yeah. That's also in the book.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna go ahead and close tonight.
Okay. There's so much more, but we'll have more.
And we're gonna do the comments first, and then we will close. We'll have a prayer, and we'll close for tonight. But we're gonna check the comments first and see who's out here and see what's going on. And we hope that everyone was paying attention. Also, whenever you can, get the PDF book ahead of time. So much information, especially if you need answers right now, you need to get that book, and we'll send it right out to you just as quickly as we make contact with you.
I can do it here too.
Oh, okay. So this is Lead Tracker E's the section here.
Darcy has entered the room. Hey, Darcy.
All right, Darcy.
And then Judy, Nathan, Scott's here. Lori is here from Virginia. Hey, Lori. Joe Blow, I was wondering about you earlier.
Joe Blow. Hello, Lori. Hey, Joe Blow.
CT. Oh, good.
CT
is here. We know that she's working hard. She's always working hard.
All right.
Thank you, CT. Yep, she says, I'm working tonight, be driving in a few more minutes. I'll be listening to the program.
All right.
CT is just always on the Harper. Let's see.
And CT does the translating for us when she can, when she's not driving.
Yeah, she's so sweet.
When you're not
about it.
driving.
Doris Diaz is here. Hey, Doris.
Doris is here. All right.
Glad
Doris.
you're back.
Bernice.
Harper Faulkner, the Bigfoot favors Tracker E when I was in the one blind. It sure did. It was weird. Bernice is here. Tracker B. Hey, Tracker B. She says, uploaded video of fingerprint of Bigfoot on my room door, Caballero Bigfoot. Good. Y'all check out her channel. Check out her channel. We saw those prints earlier. And yeah, very large and just dirty, nasty looking.
And that's spelled C-A-B capital A-L-L-E-R-O lowercase Bigfoot. Caballero Bigfoot. Check that out on YouTube.
Yeah. And
Danette's
here.
All right.
Christian. Yeah. Saludos. Let's see. Adam DeLorme is back.
Adam DeLorme.
What's good, relatives?
Lupita.
Glad you're here, Adam. Hey, Tita. Glad you're here. Glad you're here.
All right, Lupita.
Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot is here.
All right,
Glad you're here. Christian, let's see, Christian Pratt, we're very glad you're here. If I say your name twice, it's because I'm afraid I didn't say it, that I might have skipped past it.
We're glad everybody's saying hi to each other.
We sure are.
Builds a good community. Most of it's in Spanish.
I know I'd be reading it, but
CT.
Oh my goodness, I don't know the translation.
Linda.
We're sorry, but we're hoping that they're talking back and forth to each other.
We see CT in there, so hopefully.
Now later in the comments, if you want to put your comments, they will automatically translate. Oh, there's Jose.
Las Aventuras de Jose y Tanya Marquez.
Hola. Marcelo Munoz is here.
Marcelo,
Hola.
All right.
Judy says, valuable information. Thank you. You're welcome, Judy. Thank you for your encouragement all the time.
Yeah, good hearing from you, Judy.
Still scrolling. Y'all been glad, like you said, glad there's a community. Darcy says, the book has great information, especially for the price. If you take 2 people out to eat, you would spend more money than the price of this book. Please order a book if you are able. That is a fantastic point. If you take 2 people out to eat, walk over there and look behind their dumpsters and see if you can find some bows and activity of the Bigfoot signs. But be careful. And then that will, maybe do that before you go in and eat. Maybe you decide to get a book instead of in there. But they're sending, excuse me, they're sending these it's usually at the fast food place, it's teens and it's elderly people. They're sending them out there to those dumpsters, the food dumpsters.
Especially at night time.
Yep. At the end of the night, you go do that. Everybody's busy and she's gets attacked.
And they will blame it on anything if anyone gets taken.
Human trafficked.
They'll say alligator. They'll say bear. They'll say cougar.
They'll say she was on drugs and went to go meet somebody.
You have to take care of yourself. So this information from the book and the documentary gives you that understanding of what's out there.
And really, if you're at a fast food restaurant and you're just sitting there, you finish up your meal and it's the end of the night, you got nothing going on, you could maybe just, don't be a freak about it, but maybe just sit and watch and make sure whatever kid goes out to the dumpster gets back in safely. Yeah. You don't ever have to say a word and they don't ever have to know. Make sure you don't act weird so that they think you're stalking them. But you can just watch and keep an eye out for them. Eat your burger slowly. Yep. Darcy says, I heard a strange duck quaking in the creek today.
Good, Darcy.
See if good that you're paying attention.
Yeah.
See if that's its nickname for you too.
Yeah.
Make sure
you hear it again.
It's not a repetitive sound every time you walk out. Pay attention to what's making a noise. Joe Blow says, excellent subject. Thank you.
It's so good to hear from you, Joe Blow.
It sure is. We always miss you when you're not here. Blue Sky. Hey.
Hey, Blue Sky.
That's another great channel. She says, good information.
Great channel she has there. Everyone check her out too. Also, Katrina Starr.
Harper says, you two look tired. Take a day and rest.
Hey, we're not tired.
Blur. We need to put that Vaseline back on the camera to blur it.
To blur it
Get
so
that-
we don't look so tired. Although we
Get the
have been
filter.
running pretty,
It's so dang hot. The AC's,
and
we can't have the AC on when we're doing
we
the
got
show.
a whole bunch of different things we're working on.
Yeah, we're good though.
It's free work.
We're good, and we'll thank you to tell us how wonderful we look when we're on here.
Yeah.
Even if we look tired.
Yeah, you can always say how good we look too. Instead of I'm putting my cat down.
But
Now I
we
don't look so
appreciate
tired.
you knowing that when we need rest. We do appreciate that, though, really. Judy says, today we smelled the strong odor of wet dog that was overwhelming and had me and my daughter on alert. And we know someone else that smelled the real skunky smell, but
Today.
they weren't sure about it. And I'm glad you're paying attention to that, Judy. And the skunk smell doesn't go away right away. So if it does, it's something else.
Yeah.
Joe says, I've been working in a new position at my work, then taking up a lot of time. So glad I was able to catch this episode. We're glad too.
Yeah, us too, Joe. We was wondering about you.
Darcy says, sounds like a squatch, Judy. Yes, it does.
Sure does.
Marcelo says, from
Jerry y
Uruguay.
Ella,
Hello
saludos de
from
sede
Uruguay.
Uruguay. Dos los bendiga siempre. Sí.
Hola. Bendiciones. Saludos, Marcelo. Judy says, Darcy, it was starting to smell such a strong odor and then it was gone. Yes, see?
Yep,
Yeah.
right there. We've had that done too, and it just came in like the wind came through and just took it. But it's like we was like, all right.
Darcy's letting everybody know that it was her that smelled the skunk today at the entrance to work, but the smell went away faster than a skunk smell.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, skunk smell will be there because it's that oil, so it's gonna be there for a while. If it disappears, it's them.
Lupita says, hello, Ella and Jerry.
Hola, Lupita.
And that really skunky, ranky smell, that's one of their excitement smells too. When they're really getting amped up, they'll stink high like that. Judy says, hi, everybody.
Judy says she's planning on ordering the book. That's good, Judy.
Sounds like you need it.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah.
Darcy says, say that prayer of protection over you and yours, Judy, when you smell that or feel that presence. Stay armed, Judy. Jerry teaches always have a weapon ready. That's right.
Yeah.
Henry White Jr. says, my dog must go out. Have a good night. Okay, Henry.
Be careful out there, Henry.
Yeah, he's trying to get him out early so he can get right back in.
Good.
Tracker B's dogs are sleeping inside
Tonight
because
of
they've been,
disturbances and growls, and the dogs were acting up last night, so they're taking them in tonight, which is a good idea.
And then she's got the big fingerprints now.
And she's the one that's got the big fingerprint mark that she just got yesterday, I think, or today.
Last night.
Yeah,
today.
That's fresh there.
Blue Sky says, flash flooding here right now. We thank the Lord for his protection over you, Blue Sky.
And enjoy the rain.
Yeah. Let's see. More just talk between. Blue Sky says, if I got the PDF, how could I store all of it on my smartphone? We don't know that yet. We probably have to go on the iCloud or something.
Yeah.
It would take up a lot of space. It's 100 and...
But I would, you can always put it on your, download it and then put it on a memory card.
Scott
and
says,
then take it to the post office. I mean, the library, and use theirs. It's a little cheaper.
Scott says, stanky squatch. Yep,
Yep,
for sure. Sounds
yep.
like a song name.
And that, those
Sounds
are
like a dance.
Those are things too that the warriors use to say, all right, let's get ready. It's here. It's not fear, it's get ready. But we use those things to our advantage, not to our disadvantage.
We were once going to do a dance called the Bigfoot Sway, but
Bigfoot Sway.
Yeah.
Sway.
But we didn't want to make a joke out of it.
Yeah.
But they do sway, but we want people to know that they're out there swaying that so that they can look better. but we want to be taken seriously, so that's not something we can do. But the stanky squatch sounds like a dance. Judy
It
says,
does.
I'm glad you were on today because it happened today. Oh,
Good.
yeah.
It's good. Both of y'all were.
We're glad too, Judy.
Yeah.
And you can call
Henry's
us
back.
too, Judy.
Walks his dog. He's back.
Oh, okay. And Blue Sky says, how many pages? I love the library. We love the library too. 100 and
116, I'm
I
sure.
was thinking, yeah, about 120. Yeah.
I think it's 116.
Okay. Yeah, so quite expensive if you got to do it that way, honestly.
Yeah, but at the library,
print.
they're pretty cheap.
What is nice is it's big. That could be put in a 3-ring binder and made easy to.
And, you know, even having that big book, that you could leave that book anywhere in your house or at your cousin's or at your kid's house, and they would find that book. Just bind it together.
Joe Blow says, by the way, you guys look great. I don't think you look tired.
All right, Joe Blow.
You see why we missed you, Joe Blow?
One of our greatest friends.
Thank you. See how that perked us up? Tell us we look tired. We're going to be like, oh, you know. Yes, 116 pages.
116.
Yeah, Blue Sky. Hey, don't you be laughing at us, Blue Sky. We're working on the soft cover books too. We're working on it.
And Henry says he put his in notes, in his PDF notes is where he put it.
Oh, good.
And Henry read it in one day.
Yeah, sure
He
did.
read the entire book in one day. So
Henry's always talking about having a poor memory and stuff, and he
gets a lot done.
He sure does. He sure does. I can't imagine what he was like before he thought he had a poor memory.
I know.
Judy says, hey, Joe. Henry says, I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
And Blue Sky says, okay, I can find another memo app.
Hey,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you, Blue Sky.
That's so awesome.
Oh, we got another one in, but it hasn't shown up on this, and it's, oh, no. That's it. We're caught up on those were earlier. Yeah.
I just skipped to the bottom.
Okay, then. We're caught up.
All right, so we're glad that everyone's here tonight. We wanted to share some information on blinds and ambush spots. We got to be aware. We got to know these things are out there. The researchers who are out there, let's not go blindly. Scout your areas out during the day. Do your drive-by scouting. Do your mapping. Before we go out, we do a mapping. We know where we're going, what we're doing, the terrain, what to expect. And, you know, just how we're going to do everything, our objective. And we don't go past our objective. Like the other day, it was to track and locate to a pond. We tracked, we located it, we found it, and we returned. Normally, and normal people or another researcher would have went over the hill, checked that blind out, and then went over that one, next one, but those were ambush areas, and we knew that. So we hung tight to the right, did what we had to do, and got out one as soon as we got confirmation.
Scout leaders, church leaders, parents, grandparents, babysitters, you guys scout those areas for those kids and teach them what they look like too. Let them see the videos, let them see the pictures, and you may be surprised at how many of them have already noticed those things. You can see them going down the highway instead of playing I Spy. Tell your kids, spot the blind.
Yeah.
Spot the blind, spot the pull down, spot the bows. You be driving and they can be taking notes. Make them a little chart where they can make marks instead of just being with their noses in the phone. Have them watching the wood lines and learning.
Yeah, we were had to run an errand today, and there was new blinds in the town
Every time.
And we can't force people to get the book, and we can't force people to read the book, but everyone needs to get it and read it because of what we see every day. The people don't know what's going on. They think that those are naturally happening. They're not. There's no concern to push or get their brush lines back. the people who do know, you're pushing your brush lines back. You've got the book, you've got the documentary, you've been with the channel, you understand what's going on. So many people don't even know what to look for. But in that book, we did do some illustrations also. We did talk about it and tell you what to look for, where to look for them also. We did a little bit more here tonight, but there are some illustrations also in that book. It's a very important book for you to have.
Like and share the channel so the news can get out to more people. They're really, with the content that we put out, there's really no good excuse not to be sharing this channel. You know, if you think it's of value, please share it.
Nobody else is going to share it.
We have a lot of people that ask us questions behind the scenes and not in front of people, but they won't support us out in public. Like you regular guys here in the chat, you do, and we love you for it. But for those of you that are just listening and lurking and learning every time, are you doing anything at all to help get the word out for us? Even people that say we're not experts, and because they refuse to believe that there is any such a thing as an expert, they're still watching and lurking in and learning, and they're still finding something of value here. You guys need to share these videos, help us get this information out.
Yeah.
So, and also check back on your notifications, because too many times people are saying they're not getting the notifications. You know how YouTube is.
And we've been shadow banned, so sometimes you can't even find us on YouTube.
Yeah.
So check your subscriptions, because we've had, I couldn't tell you how many, and there's probably people right here in chat will tell you they've been unsubscribed.
Yeah.
So
over
check
and over.
that.
I've been unsubscribed.
Yeah. So make sure you check those, because you won't know when we're on unless you are subscribed and get that notification.
Judy says, okay, my son-in-law complained about the smell of a skunk when he came home from the back of the house. Yeah, so get out there in broad daylight, or get it lit up there as much as you can. Check it out in broad daylight.
In daylight.
Make sure there's no trash out there, no food out there. You know the things to do. Y'all know the steps to take, Judy. And text us if you don't.
So if you have like a trash can outside or something like that, in the morning, go and look by that trash can for skunk, small little skunk footprints. If you don't find those, you know it's not a skunk, because they're going to go and find any kind of rubbish, food, anything you leave out. So they're going to be going by your garbage can. So.
Yeah, make sure that you guys hold your trash inside the house until trash day. Throw it in a little grocery bag and take it and dump it at work each day you go to work.
Yep.
You know, it's not the paper stuff, but the stinky stuff.
Yeah.
Have it tied up. Save your old jars and things like that and baggies, and refill them with that food, and get the smell down as much as you can. Tie it up in a bag and get it off the property.
Yeah. Don't leave food. Don't leave dog food out. Don't leave animal food out.
Don't leave animals out.
Don't leave the animals out. You have to secure your animals. Don't put them in a barn that's got 2 open ends or any open end.
Right.
You have to make sure they're secure, or these creatures will come in. And if that barn door is open on both ends, that's nothing but a buffet for a Bigfoot. Yeah. So come here and eat a sheep here, eat a cow here, eat a pig here, eat a horse here.
Yeah.
Be very wary of that. Secure your animals as you would secure your children. Make sure they're secure. If you're outside, be outside with them. Do whatever you can to keep an eye on them. Put monitors on them if you have to. Make it so the Bigfoot don't even want to go over there, because there's so many cameras, there's so many mirrors, there's lights going off.
Just like you would a human predator. Just don't make it easy for them. Don't be easy prey.
Don't be easy prey.
And teach your children not to be. Yeah. All right. So.
Okay, we're going to try to end this again.
We will close in prayer with that. Thank you, everyone that came here tonight. We appreciate it. We'll let you know. We'll put up a notice when the next live stream.
And Morning Tracker Talks, Friday morning, 9:30 a.m. Central Time Zone.
Those are for Patreon members.
Also, if you'd like to become a Patreon member or support the channel, the Patreon link is on the screen. And the Cash App is also, if you want to help support. We could always use a little extra support to get from here to there. Thank you very much.
And I would also say Vault is, PayPal has stopped his account. And so the money that he needs for medicine and things like that is, he has no control, can't get to it. So if any of you watch his channel and you feel led to help them, don't do it through PayPal, but figure out another way to do that. Get a hold of him and at the very least pray for him and Kat. So we'll pray. Father, we do pray for our friends, and we know so many that are having financial trouble, and we pray for you to release blessings upon them as long as they're being good stewards with their money, Father. We thank you for everything. We thank you for allowing us to dispense this information. We thank you for the ears that are receiving it. We thank you for the people that are going to take it and apply it, and that will teach others what to look for as well. We thank you for those that feel moved to support this channel, and we just love you. Thank you for letting us be here tonight. Keep everyone safe until the next time we meet again, and even after that. In Jesus' name, amen.
And to the young man who received his PDF form today, get through that book as quickly as you can and get in contact with us again. We know you have high activity going on right now. We want to help you with that. We have a 100% deterrence rate right now. We want to keep that as perfect as possible. So the quicker we can get with you and talk with you and help you, the quicker we can get you in a safer area.
Y'all have a good night.
Everyone have a great night.
God bless you. Good night, warriors.
Good night, warriors. Sleep well.
Hit like and subscribe.